Parasite protocol. As we learned in my previous video on parasites, most people do not realize that they have parasites in their body, are unaware of the havoc that parasites are having on their overall health, and that this is all by plan. If you have not watched this video, I highly recommend you press pause and listen to that video first. A link is provided below this video. Welcome to my second video on parasites. Here are the topics we will be covering today. Parasite removal treatments, protocol that has worked the best for me so far, benefits of removing parasites, and a few factors that make your body more susceptible to parasitic infections. Over the past year, I've been experimenting with a protocol for removing parasites from the body. There are many parasite removal treatments available, including herbal tinctures, which often contain wormwood and black walnut, prescription drugs such as ivermectin, and even parasite zappers, which use frequencies to kill the parasites. Each one of these treatments has its pros and its cons, and what I found is that parasites are very elusive and hard to kill. As you may remember, various experts have called parasites almost diabolical in their ability to evade their complete removal. Thus, one must hit the parasites hard and then have a follow-up strategy whereby all the eggs and dormant larvae are cleared out as well. About a month ago, I shared with a friend my learnings around parasites and the solution I've been experimenting with. She immediately connected our discussion to the situation with her two daughters. Her youngest daughter traveled for 5 months throughout Central and South America in the winter of 2019. Upon returning to America, she kept saying that her stomach did not feel right, and this has been going on for 4 years. In 2024, she went off of all flour products, no sugar and no alcohol, which resulted in fewer symptoms. In other words, the diet change resulted in her feeling better, but she was still not completely healed of the underlying problem. As I continued the discussion with my neighbor, she shared that her second daughter was diagnosed with a bone infection after going through knee surgery. As part of the treatment, she was given high doses of antibiotics, and ever since the daughter has had candida issues. Candida is just another type of parasite that is thriving in modern society. Most individuals realize that antibiotics kill all the beneficial and harmful bacteria in our bodies, and that is why it is recommended to take a high-quality probiotic after antibiotic use. However, you may not understand that the current antibiotics used in medicine do not kill yeast. When one is put on antibiotics, all the bacteria is wiped out, which allows the harmful yeast, such as Candida albicans, to take over your gut flora. This is why I make sure to drink a high-quality, non-sweetened kefir during and after the use of antibiotics, as this will help populate the gut flora with the beneficial types of yeast and bacteria during and after taking antibiotics. Candida is a very common problem and a tough one to remove from the body because of a biofilm, a mucous membrane, that surrounds it as a protective layer against antifungal drugs. I'm going to mention more about Candida later. I plan to continue to experiment with parasite treatment protocols, and the information I share today is what has worked the best for me so far. In no way am I prescribing anything or suggesting what you should do, but all I'm doing is giving you my personal experience with a well-known, well-documented problem and solution. First, Wormwood and black walnut used to work really well in the past. As a result of today's pollution and highly inflammatory foods, the old natural method rarely works in ousting the parasite in its entirety. The only way that a natural remedy, I believe, would work in modern times would be with extreme fasting. Second, ivermectin. One needs to be aware of some of the common side effects when taking ivermectin. This is not an adverse drug reaction, as ivermectin is very safe, and I know from growing up on a ranch that it is safe for pregnant mares. However, if your system has high levels of parasites, you may experience what is called a Herxheimer reaction, which is a natural bodily response to the toxins released by the parasites when they die. Some of the symptoms that I've experienced were skin irritation, runny nose, watery eyes, and sneezing. I have also heard that this can progress to flu-like symptoms and can last for up to a week, depending on the number of parasites in your body. You think you have the flu, but it's just the dead parasites causing a histamine reaction in the body. To help reduce the Herxheimer symptoms and support the liver in removing toxins more efficiently, I make sure to drink plenty of water along with taking NAC before and during the protocol. Another reason why I added NAC to my routine is that I found ivermectin and fenbendazole were not killing off candida due to a biofilm that yeast produce, which acts as a shield against antifungal drugs. I'm still exploring this to understand what level of intake works best and for what length of time. I also plan on incorporating food-grade diatomaceous earth into this protocol, as it is a very good binder in removing toxins from the body. Thirdly, the zapper, which I am currently researching and will come back with more information when I have results, as well as a greater description of what the zapper is. The one result that I had, which may seem incidental to the main research on parasites and candida, was where I accidentally cut myself on the hand. I applied a bandage, and upon using the zapper the following day, I experienced a very strong stinging sensation coming from the cut. It was like putting hydrogen peroxide on a wound. It stings. My sense is that the zapper was killing off everything just as the peroxide does. I calmed my vagus nerve and forced myself to continue, and the stinging went away after a bit. I experienced less stinging the second day of use and was amazed how quickly the cut healed that week, much quicker than usual. Now I would like to share a publication from the American Journal of Infectious Diseases and Microbiology about NAC and Candida. This article was published in November 2014. The title is N-acetylcysteine inhibits and eradicates Candida albicans biofilms. Here you'll see I'm showing the abstract of the study. Abstract just means summary of the study. I'm going to read the yellow highlighted sections of this abstract. So starting up at the top, N-acetylcysteine, NAC, is used in the treatment of chronic bronchitis that attributed to its mucus dissolving properties. Its ability to reduce biofilm formed by different types of bacteria was proven previously in many studies. And then down at the bottom, NAC can inhibit C. albicans growth, inhibit dimorphism, which is an important step in biofilm formation, and change the texture of the formed biofilms, which makes NAC an interesting agent to be used as an inhibitor for biofilm formation by C. albicans. This study found that NAC breaks down the protective fungal biofilm. This is great news in that you want to take NAC along with ivermectin and then wipe out candida in your body. Ivermectin and fenbendazole are not considered antifungal drugs by the FDA, but from this study and personal experience, there is a synergy when these drugs are taken with NAC. This, combined with the removal of sugar and wheat products such as bread, works well in removing candida. Again, I want to state that this is still a work in progress as I continue to experiment with what works best for my body in regards to the right level of NAC and for how long to take it. But initially, I've noticed a significant reduction in symptoms. The protocol requires a 90-day treatment to be able to remove not only the parasites, but also the parasite eggs. The 90-day protocol is for those who have become completely convinced about this. For those who are not convinced, it is best to understand that you may need to follow a shorter protocol just to prove to yourself that this works. What I'm doing is taking NAC 2 weeks before the start of the protocol, then continuing the NAC throughout the 90-day treatment for additional biofilm dissolution and liver support. The NAC dosage I take is 1,000 milligrams after eating a non-protein snack mid-morning to help with the potential nausea. I then take another 1,000 milligrams on a non-protein snack in the late afternoon. Ivermectin dosage is based on a person's body weight, and it is not easy to find a recommended ivermectin dosage for parasites online. So I use my best judgment from using ivermectin in the past. I take around 0.08 milligrams per pound of body weight as a single dosage. In regards to fenbendazole, I take 750 milligrams as a single dosage. It is important to note that for me, ivermectin needs to be taken on an empty stomach for best results. While for me, it is ideal to take fenbendazole with a fatty meal as this improves absorption. You will need to find your own balance on this. Here's what I did, and you can draw your own conclusions from what I did. For the first 30 days, I took a single dosage of ivermectin every day. In the future, I plan to take fenbendazole with it for 3 days on and 3 days off. The second 30 days, I took ivermectin and fenbendazole 3 days on and 3 days off. The third 30 days, I took ivermectin and fenbendazole 3 days on and 5 days off. The reason for this is twofold. Number one, I don't want the parasites to begin to produce a resistance, so I will not be taking ivermectin and fenbendazole all the time. I hit it hard for 90 days, and then I don't take ivermectin or fenbendazole again until I get a sense that I need to. I'm currently following up on this 90-day protocol, taking ivermectin and fenbendazole for 4 days during a full moon each month. The second reason is that the original mother parasite lays thousands of eggs each day, most of which get passed through your GI tract and your urine. The ones that don't lodge in different parts of the body. These mostly stay dormant because the mother parasite, while alive, releases a hormone that causes the eggs to stay dormant and not hatch. As soon as you kill the mother parasite by taking your first round of ivermectin and fenbendazole, there is no longer a production of that hormone, and all the thousands of eggs lodged in your body hatch. There are likely many mother parasites in your body, and there are eggs that hatch in spite of the hormone. These hatch every full moon. If you kill off the mother parasites at once, which you will do when you take ivermectin and fenbendazole, you will not only cause a Herxheimer response, but on a full moon, all those eggs that were in forced dormancy will hatch at once. This is one of those diabolical parasite behaviors referred to earlier. What happens is that your system is flooded with progeny as the eggs hatch because there is no hormone being produced to keep them dormant. These eggs naturally hatch on a full moon. Their demise will produce a Herxheimer response that may make you feel like you have flu-like symptoms. This is a natural result of those toxins flooding your system. It has been recommended that taking food-grade diatomaceous earth can help reduce the Herxheimer response. The main benefit I've experienced after going through this 90-day protocol was a huge reduction in allergic reactions. It shut down my allergic reactions and my joint pain. It reduced my inflammation, and we know that inflammation and allergies are all related to histamine and white blood cell activity in the body. My body is no longer trying to find what is wrong by releasing all these white blood cells and histamine because I have removed what is causing it. In doing so, it looks like you have removed the things you were allergic to, when in fact you removed something that was hidden that you did not know about. Inflammation can have all sorts of reactions within your body. For me, it made my hips ache. Some people, like my dad, get an arthritic diagnosis. Others, such as my mom, have seasonal allergies. These conditions are a result of the body perceiving an attack and releasing white blood cells and histamine, thinking that it might get the attacker. This puts your body in such a state that anything can set it off. For me, one of the triggers was avocados. When I would eat an avocado, I would have a histamine reaction throughout my entire body, including my throat constricting. In fact, it would get scary at times. I found out through reading the book Eat Right for Your Type that this was my body's antigen response to eating the wrong food for my blood type. The antigen response to eating avocados was amplified within my body due to an existing parasitic infection. Seed oils are also causing tremendous inflammation. Combine having parasites with the acid state in the body produced by seed oils, this gives parasites the perfect environment. They love the acid body. They also like the body with high levels of heavy metals, chemicals, and radiation. Exposure to heavy metals such as lead and mercury, chemicals such as glyphosate, and EMF damage your mitochondria and weaken your neurological and immune systems. All of these factors make your body more susceptible to parasites and their eggs. And speaking of seed oils, I will be sharing at a future time the right oils and fats to consume based upon your blood type. Let's talk about what we just talked about. In the end, disease is all about intrusion into your biosphere of that which should not be there, and the body reacting to repel it, and not having the right things to do that with. So we are searching out all the things that are going to help the body heal itself, because the body is the greatest doctor. This concludes today's video, and I hope to see you next time as we continue this journey.